nobody's ready to be awake yet. Good morning. We're back to YouTube, baby. This one's a big one too. I'll be talking more about it later, but we're in prep. It still feels very surreal to say, but anyway, this morning had an early start to the day because I needed to do my check-ins, and then oh wow, sorry, squirrel moment. Literally the prettiest snowflake just landed on my windshield. It's like actually shaped like a star. That's insane. Anyway, woke up early this morning, had to get my check-in in before my 6 a.m. client, and then I knocked out some cardio too. And now I got to go home because I'm going to do most of this prep like vlog style, so just kind of like come with me to do whatever. But I got to go home. My landlord has some people coming to change out a door, which kind of sucks that it's today because it's below freezing, and I wish it was on a day where it wasn't so cold. Get ready for the day and start in on some work before I'm back at the gym later for my lift. So, welcome to the adventures. I'm nervous. One of the things that's really cool about getting up super early is you get so much done earlier in the day. Since I last saw you, I have eaten breakfast, gotten slightly ready, went and got my eyebrows threaded, attempted to get my TSA pre-check, but they didn't end up sending my stuff off because apparently your marriage license has to have a signature from the officiant, which mine doesn't have. It's just an official copy from the courthouse. I'm going to get my passport first and then attempt to go back for pre-check. I'm trying to be an adult and do adult things like passports and pre-check and taxes. Yuck. Anyway, you're catching me now getting ready to eat meal 2, which I'm actually a little behind. I probably should have eaten this 2 hours ago, but it's 3.5 ounces of chicken plus, today's a high carb day. I am carb cycling, but 3.5 ounces of chicken plus like 200 and some grams of potatoes, which are in the microwave right now. I've been obsessed with this brand, this little potato company. I used to chop up my potatoes and toss them in the air fryer, but lately it's not hitting. They're just too like dry. So I've actually just been really liking these microwavable ones. These are almost done. And grabbed my phone because we don't guesstimate around here. We get it right. So going to my nutrition protocol, and today is a high carb day. We are doing 250 grams of white potatoes. That's a lot of potatoes. I'm excited. One thing I've been struggling with a little bit this prep so far, which is really interesting, is hunger. Like I'm just not hungry, which is whack. But anyway, I probably look like a good Lord. Anyway, I'm going to get my meal together, eat that, and then at some point I'm going to sit down and chit chat with you guys about what's actually happening. I also got to get a lift in. Let's go. I accidentally ripped the salt bag to shreds when I went to go open it. There's a strange feeling when you walk away from something that you poured years of your life into, especially when it feels just a little bit unfinished. And that's kind of how bodybuilding left me over the last few years. I didn't expect to compete again. Honestly, I really genuinely thought I was done. But I haven't been able to let it go. Like after my last season, I truly believed like I'm done competing. But Wally's snoring in the background. There's just been this voice in the back of my head that's like, what if you did it again? Like you could do better. Like you could bring more. And it's not even that I could bring more like physique wise. Yes, hopefully I do. But I feel like I can bring more mentally too, which is really the biggest thing. So today I want to talk about why I'm stepping back on stage in 2026 and how this prep is going to be a little different from the last one. My last prep was really intense in 2021. I was chasing the IFBB Pro card, as most people who compete do, right? That's the ultimate end goal. Not even end goal really, but like as an amateur, that's the end goal as an amateur, right? It's to obtain that precious pro card and hold it above your head and get that iconic photo taken of you on stage and all that good stuff. And I missed it twice by 2 spots. And I genuinely thought that chapter was absolutely closed, but over time I realized that it just doesn't feel finished. And not in a frustrated or like obsessive kind of way. It just feels like the door's not shut, right? It's not wide open, but it's been cracked the last few years. And sometimes you don't really realize how much something means to you until you stop doing it. One thing I really didn't expect when I stepped away was how much I would miss being an athlete. Prepping a few of my own clients last year for shows, I didn't realize how much I miss being in the thick of it. I still train, I still love being in the gym, but competing takes everything to a whole entirely different level. When you're in prep, every day has a purpose. Every day has direction. Your training, every rep actually like genuinely matters. Your nutrition has to be dialed. And I realized, and I've always known this about myself, I like having a goal. I like to be pushed. Ever since I remember like graduating high school and being in all these sports and doing all these activities and then going to college and being a party bum for a couple years, and then coming out of that back into CrossFit and then eventually into bodybuilding, how much I really liked having a goal, how much I really liked having something that I was actually working toward. And for me, bodybuilding has always been something that fills that need of needing a challenge. And I really missed it. Like comfort is nice. It's great. You know, I've had a lot of fun, actually, genuinely, truly had a lot of fun the last 2 years, traveling and getting back into dirt bikes and doing all kinds of really, really cool stuff. But I just needed to push again. Like I needed something to work towards. So let's talk about how this prep is going to be different from my last one. So one of the biggest differences this time is who I'm working with. Owner of the USA side of camp, Charmaine, is my coach. So excited to be working with her. I've known her for quite some time, and I just think she's such a genuine human with so much knowledge in this industry and passion, and I'm really excited to follow her lead on what to do for this prep. I also know that this prep is going to be a little bit more dialed in on health expectations, especially with following peptide protocols and things like that, and also being much more knowledgeable myself about what it takes to turn pro for some people, but also the functional health side of things. It's going to be really fun to like have a hand in that and really get to practice that with myself along with Charmaine. So it's going to be really, really cool. And of course, the major goals for this prep, what's not different is the goal is always the pro card, right? That's why we do it. We're, as an amateur, we're really driving to prove that we got what it takes to be in the pro leagues, right? That's what we want. So that's ultimately the goal. But the difference is that I don't feel this intense pressure or panic around it. Last prep, if I'm being honest, my ego was a lot more involved. I didn't win my qualifier and I got second, which still qualified me to compete nationally, but I didn't get first and I didn't get to compete for the overall. And that messed with my head. I wanted the validation. I wanted that achievement. And there's nothing wrong with wanting those things, right? But when the ego is driving, it definitely changes the experience. It sucks kind of the fun out of it and it puts a lot more pressure and expectation onto it. This time definitely feels really different. I'm doing this because I genuinely like the process. I love the process of prep, of having to do the things that you don't really want to do, of pushing through the tired and pushing through the fatigue and pushing your body to limits that are just, most people won't ever even attempt. So that's really why I'm here and what I'm doing. If the pro card happens, that's incredible. But even if it doesn't, I know that I'm going to be really proud of this season. And that's what I'm actually really excited for with this whole process. So this episode, this series, what it's going to be about, I just want to document the process. I'm going to show you guys behind the scenes with my training. I just started working with Corey Lindler again for my training. Hopefully I'm pronouncing his last name correctly, but if you are a competitor in the bikini, well, any bodybuilding division, honestly, and you've probably heard of Corey. He does great training work. I actually just printed out all my programming and wrote it all down in my training log. Going to get started on his programming today. So you'll get to see what I'm doing. You'll get to learn a lot about my nutrition, see the ins and outs of that, my mindset around things, my physique updates, the lessons that I'm learning along the way, my show plans, and just the reality of everything as a whole. But also one of the things I'm really dedicated this time around too is not losing my other hobbies. Been really obsessed with dirt bikes for a while now since we got back into that. Now, I do recognize that there is going to be a point in prep where it's not really going to be safe for me to be riding a lot. So I'll definitely be cutting back at some point due to fatigue and likelihood of getting hurt when you're tired on a dirt bike, but also like weight distribution issues, things like that I think will definitely hold me back from riding as much here in the upcoming months. But still being able to go do the things that I enjoy and making sure I'm taking the time to enjoy life along with the process. I think what's really cool about this whole thing is some chapters in your life, like they just close quietly, right? You shut the door, you feel complete, you feel happy, you reflect on it with
happiness and joy and fondness. And I reflect on my bodybuilding journey with all of those things, but I also reflect on it with a little bit of what if. And so I think this chapter is just waiting for me to come back and finish it. So welcome to the return. That was a solid glute day. Went to the grocery store as well. Whew, it's been a day, guys. It's been a busy day. Did all my client check-ins already. I have to work on updating my personal training certification because it's going to expire in a few days. And then I think I might just chill the rest of the evening. I'm tired.
Hi friends, it's a few days later. Close out this first opening video, which I know is a bit of chaos, but I feel like my YouTube videos are always chaos. I don't really plan them out like I should, or I do plan them out and then things get chaotic and I don't follow the plan. I just kind of record what's happening like as is. We are driving back up to hometown, essentially, Central Illinois, from St. Louis to Aces Racing tomorrow at a track I grew up riding at a lot as a kid. So it's really fun to go back, but it's a little different because the track that he's racing at now, like their main track now, is new. 2 tracks, so the old track is the one that we used to ride a lot as a kid. I raced it a little as a kid, but I didn't race a lot of moto. I raced mostly in the woods. It's fun to go back. Elsie and I are playing freeze out right now because I don't know if you can hear Wally panting in the back seat. I have my car set at 65 and he's still panting his little head off, so apologies if you hear that in the background. But anyway, a couple of things I want to come onto this video and address before I close out the first off, like, welcome back video, is a little more details around my prep. So I started prepping, I think like 4 or 5 weeks ago, maybe 4.5. I can't remember. And I'm down about 6-ish pounds. So I was down about like 7 and then I'm back up a little bit. I'd like to be a little tighter than I was my previous seasons, but as I've mentioned before, I have a coach. I'm working with Charmaine, so whatever she says is whatever we do. And I'm just, honestly, this is like the least stressed I've been about the prep. Like, my stress this week had nothing to do with bodybuilding or the show or any of that. Like, I'm not even worried about it. I literally am just doing what I'm told, and it'll happen one way or the other, whether it's the show I have in mind or a different one. Eventually we will be on stage, so it's fine. Cardio is not too bad right now. We're 5 days a week at 30 minutes, so nothing wild there, although it's felt really difficult, like, to get my heart rate up. I don't know what the deal is. I guess I'm just a wimp, but that's been interesting. And but it's been good. It's been nice to do cardio again. We're lifting, I think, about 6 days-ish per week right now. Like I mentioned earlier, working with Corey again, so he just built out all of my programming, a lot of glute-focused stuff, a lot of upper glute-focused work, and then you know, obviously, of course, still working on shoulders and a little bit of back as well. Last season I competed, I was told I was too big, too muscular, but now I worry I might be too small because I feel like the criteria has shifted a little bit. I don't think I'm going to be too small. I don't think I'm going to be, like, necessarily outsized per se, because, you know, you look more jacked when you get leaner, you look more muscular. So I think we'll see that muscularity return as I continue to chip away. But it's just funny to me how the sport like evolves and shifts and changes, and like what's kind of like in for each season. And it's not that like they change it intentionally, it's just kind of how things evolve and change and shift, and that's a natural part of it. I know a lot of people complain about bikini standards and all of them changing and whatnot, but that's part of the division. It's part of the game with bikini. It almost is a game at the end, like when you're at that higher level, like not saying that I am currently, but when you're at that higher level and you're like really battling in those top 5 spots at like national level shows to get your pro card, it's a game at that point, because the look is just different than men's divisions, for example. That's an easy one. You just have to be really big and really shredded. And if you're those things, you'll probably do fine, but it's just a little different in bikini for sure. Like the expectations and the criteria and how you come in and what judges like. It's a little bit more like subjective, which can make it tough, but again, it's part of the division. Like I love bikini. There's nothing else I would want to compete in division wise. So it's my favorite. So yeah, I'm happy to play the game, you know, I'm happy to work towards it. So yeah, that's how prep's going. I'll put up some side-by-sides here probably of where I started and where I'm at now. And yeah, we're just chipping away, just gonna keep working. And then something else I did want to touch on as well is I haven't really updated anyone why we moved to St. Louis. So we moved to St. Louis about 2 months ago. It was the beginning of the year, end of the year, Christmas time-ish of 25. And we left Montana for a variety of reasons, but really the big reason for moving back to the Midwest was Ace got a really cool job opportunity, but also we're kind of from this area. We're not from St. Louis by any means. We're from Central Illinois, but it's from where we live. It's about 2.5 hours away. It's about 2 hours from downtown St. Louis. So it's close to home when, you know, you've been 13 to 14 hours away for 8+ years. We feel like we're really close to home, although I'm not gonna lie, this 2.5 hour drive today feels really long. But yeah, it's nice to kind of, it's good to be back. I'm not gonna lie, I miss the East Coast like mad, but it's all in an adjustment phase. You know, it takes time to build community, it takes time to meet people. I'm trying to rebuild my in-person business, and guys, it's been really hard. I had such like a good presence in Virginia Beach with my in-person business. I loved all of my clients. I loved my schedule. It was perfect. So to go from that to like 0 again, and then this gym I'm at is just a little bit different and 100% independently contracted, which I've always been, but it's just a little different. So it's been hard. But to be honest, I feel like life has just been hard the last like 1.5 years. So whatever, you know, it's just another challenge. We're going to keep working. We're going to keep pushing. And that's another reason too, I'm kind of diving into prep this year, is I really need something to work towards, and I've missed the stage. So it's something I'm happy to put in the work and to put in the effort to improve upon. So that's my yap. Sorry, that was probably a pretty boring segment of the video. But yeah. The rest of this weekend, I'm going to hang out with my sister tonight. I've got all my food packed with me. I was just eating cold grilled chicken out of a bag, so bodybuilder life. But, so I'm going to hang out with my sister tonight, and then Ace races tomorrow. I might get a couple clips of that, but other than that, the video is pretty much wrapping up here. So thanks for watching. The next one, if all goes as planned, the next video is actually going to be super freaking fun. So hang around, see what it is. Thanks for watching.